Alright, we're making a cut shell using a shot shell, 12 gauge. This will work with any 12 gauge shot shell and 20 gauge shot shell. Cut right at the middle. Gonna have to kind of saw at it. The shell's a little bit thicker than you would think. Depends on the knife, really, but I'm just gonna make an outline. We're gonna cut at the angle. Where the lines don't meet together. You're not cutting the shell in half. You're just kind of making a cross with it. So you see I've started moving at an angle. With my knife here, my Gerber, I'm going to use this. I'm going to make it a little bit more of an edge with it. So you can see I'm going to just saw at it. Just like using a hacksaw. I'm not anywhere close to the gunpowder, so I'm not worried about, you know, this bitch blowing my fucking hand off. Now, cut shell basically turns a shot shell into a slug. That's the beauty of it. You can take a sport shot, something classified as a sport shot, or the manufacturer classifying something as a sport shot, and you can hunt deer with the goddamn thing. You try it yourself, shoot a target, and you'll know what I mean. I'm just sawing away at it. I don't want to meet up with my previous cross. If you're worried about fucking it up, you can just use a Sharpie or something and make it. I take my time with this. Some people just speed right through it, but I'd rather not waste the shot. You want to cut through it so it's all the way down, so there's nothing left holding it really in place. You're going to most likely have to manually feed this into your gun for it to work properly. Now, if you somehow manage to blow your fucking hand off, I'm not responsible for that shit. You're just a dumbass. So, you know, what I'm doing here is I'm going at an angle, so this cut right here doesn't meet up with this cut. That way, our shell is gonna hold itself together. So it's still one shell when you fire it. I've been pretty weak on it, so I'll go back over it when I'm done and just make sure that the shell is cut completely through, because you want it to be separated where you're cutting, or it won't work correctly. It'll just act like a fucked up shot shell. when you cut the shell, the type of knife you use will change the outcome of how quick this takes and so forth. I'm using the serrated edge to pull this off. Otherwise, this would fucking take like an hour. You'll hear the little snapping noises when you're cutting through, and that's when you know you've breached the shell. It'll start bending, not really a big deal, and it happens. Kind of means you have cut through the fucking shell itself. So the shell's bending a little bit already. You can see the wad a little bit. You're more or less cutting the shot shell right outside of the wad. Now right here is where I was cutting before. Here's where I'm already through. So if I cut right here, we'd have nothing. This is just a fucking big disaster waiting to happen. So I'm just gonna cut right here. So when the gun fires, this will separate. So right here, just more or less marked it with a knife. Now I need to breach it. There we go. You load that beast into your fucking 12 gauge. If you do it with a 20. If you do it with a 20. You have the same outcome. Basically turn the fucking shot shell into, well, like a slug, more or less. Play around with it. Just always cut in the middle. Don't cut towards the back where the fucking gunpowder is, and don't mess around with the primer, because that's just fucking stupid. That's a good way to kill yourself. So good luck, have fun, enjoy, and let me know how that works out for you. Alright, so we're going to use the cut shell that I made last night, and we are going to shoot this target downrange, and it's going to blow up. It's important to know that you shouldn't be using a choke when trying this, because you probably plug up the end of your gun right at the bore. It'll probably just lock up there. You should know what would happen. It's like shooting a 20 gauge out of a 12. You know, you're gonna get the shell stuck, and then you're gonna shoot another round, not know the bitch is in there, and you go kaboom, so to speak. Be lucky if you have a hand left afterwards. So just so you know, don't fucking do it with a choke. And if you fucking hurt yourself in the process, I'm not responsible. Try this shit at your own risk. So we're just gonna load the bitch in there. Manual. Never put more than one round in there. Because when you put them in there, that bitch is probably gonna rip in half, and then you're gonna have a big old mess in your tube down there. All right, let's go ahead and blow this beast up. All right, so when we're done, that's what we got left. All we basically just did is we turned the front end of that shot shell into one projectile. That's what cut shells basically do. I'm gonna look down this barrel from the rear. I'm not gonna put my face in the front of the thing, but you should inspect it before you put other shots in it, just in case. All right, safety. All right. Okay, so we're going to inspect the damage. There's where we shot at. That's how far this thing went. As you can see,
it is quite devastating. You still see some shot with it, but I mean, it actually just ripped this thing to pieces. Maybe we'll make another video shooting a target in comparison with regular shot and then a cut shot. So yep, that's what you're gonna get. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like.